Let's talk about something we all wonder about but can never really know for sure. What actually happens in the final 10 seconds of life? I mean, it's the one universal question, right? The one experience we'll all have but can never come back and describe. Do you imagine fear or maybe peace? Or does it all just turn off? What really goes down in those last few moments? Well, we've all seen the dramatic versions in movies, the big climactic ending. But science tells a totally different story. And trust me, the biological reality is way more fascinating and honestly less scary than you might think. Okay, so let's start with the physical side of things. Before the mind goes on its final journey, the body, it begins this really surprisingly orderly preparation. See, as the end gets closer, the body goes into this extreme energy-saving mode. It's not some sudden, chaotic breakdown. Nope. Instead, it's really systematic. Blood flow gets strategically reduced, breathing might get a little irregular, and the major organs just start to slow their roll. It's like a perfectly executed power-down sequence. It really is the perfect way to put it. This isn't a crash, it's much more like a controlled, efficient shutdown, just like your computer powering off. It's the body's final and kind of beautiful act. Now, as the body is powering down and, oxygen to the brain starts to dwindle, this is where something absolutely extraordinary happens. Seriously, this part of the story is mind-blowing. You'd think that without oxygen, the brain would just go dark, right? Lights out. But the reality is the complete opposite. Research actually suggests there's a final, powerful surge of neural activity. We're talking a burst of high-frequency gamma waves, the very same kind linked to heightened consciousness and memory. It's one last, vivid flash of awareness. So what would that even feel like? Well, from what we can gather, imagine time itself just stretching. Seconds feel like they could be minutes. Memories don't just pop up, they flash by in this incredibly vivid stream. Your whole sense of awareness shifts into a totally new state. It's wild to think that those final 10 seconds might actually feel like an entire lifetime. Let's dig a little deeper into that shift in awareness, because it's so much more than just a bunch of chemicals firing off. We're talking about a fundamental change in how the mind experiences its very last moments. You know that feeling when a song or a smell triggers a memory so real you feel like you're right back there? The life review phenomenon is kind of like that, but on a cosmic scale. The brain just rapidly scans its entire hard drive of memories, creating this final, incredible highlight reel of your life. And the big question is why? It might just be the brain's final attempt to make sense of it all. So while this incredible internal movie is playing, the outside world starts to fade away. A lot of reports also describe this profound sense of detachment, almost like a calm, floating feeling that puts some distance between you and any physical pain or stress. It's pretty amazing. This could be the brain's ultimate protective mechanism, a way to shield our consciousness from what's happening by turning its focus inward. And that sense of calm, that final protective state, well, that's the lead up to the very end of the sequence. It's where all that incredible activity finally gives way to a quiet, peaceful transition. So here it is, the final timeline. In those last few seconds, the brain's activity hits its peak. And then as its energy is finally used up, conscious awareness just begins to fade. All perception, all thought, all feeling, it all just gently dissolves into silence. And I think that's the most comforting takeaway from all of this. The end might not be this violent, scary crash that we sometimes imagine. It might just be a gentle fade, a quiet, calm transition. Science seems to point to a peaceful letting go, not a struggle. Of course, science can give us some amazing clues, but the true experience is still a mystery. I'm curious, what part of this breakdown surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Hey, if this explainer gave you a new way to think about a topic we all have questions about, do me a favor and hit that like button. And for sure, share your thoughts below. And of course, subscribe for more explainers where we break down the biggest questions out there. Because, understanding the end just might change how we choose to live right now.